Call forward the regular meeting of the regular council meeting for the corporation of the township of Rudell, Lindell, and Raglan, 7th day of May, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of this council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for the rich history. We are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Roll call, Councillor Banks.
Yeah.
Councillor Poppel. Here. Councillor Keller.
Here.
Councillor Paul.
Present.
We have a resolution for the adoption of the agenda that we council for the corporation of the township of Rudell, Lindell, and Raglan. Adopt the agenda as submitted. Can I get a motion for that, please? Moved by Councillor Banks, seconded by Councillor Paul. Any comments, questions? No. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Is there any discussion or any disclosure of pecuniary interest with anything on the agenda tonight?
No, pardon me.
Okay, the mayor's address, meetings, town council meetings. I'm going to attend any council, this is the hospital. Clerk's report. Welcome back. On your part-time basis. That's good. Delegations and presentations. I don't see Dave Barrett on here. So Tammy, would you like to go grab that chair over there? You can move it over to the side so you're not in the light. Oh gosh. Thank you.
So good evening, Mayor Yan and VLR councilors. These past few weeks of being exposed to the presentation of the Nowhere Festival and all that it entailed has brought to light the importance of VLR having an established noise bylaw, as well as the special events bylaw being reviewed. I didn't have the time to submit documents last Wednesday after I was informed that the special meeting was canceled, as I wanted to get my delegation form to speak into the office ASAP so that I could speak tonight in volume. Saying all that, I had Suzanne Klatt from NV email me a copy of their noise bylaw that I read, and I thought perhaps you could adapt something similar in VLR. Under the special events bylaw, I'm wondering if you are able to make a few things a little bit more clear. For example, can it be made more clear how many people are allowed to be at an outdoor event? So just using the Nowhere Festival as my example, hearing that 5,350 people were planning on coming into a fenced-in area of roughly 70 acres was concerning, considering its location to accessibility, the lack of cellular data services in that area, and the great potential of draining our local EMS and OPP services. Another point in this bylaw that could be more clear is the type and/or description of the event. For example, will it be a family-oriented event, i.e. a country, bluegrass, or gospel music festival, versus a non-family orientated event? An example of that would be rave. Also, it is important to ask if there would be drugs involved with events, since you already asked about alcohol. Using the Miller Festival once again as my example, it was a pleasant surprise how many VLR taxpayers rallied together against this non-family oriented event. It shows us all of what the taxpayers of VLR value. That is all I have to say. I thank you for letting me come and just air a few concerns out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did already speak to Tammy, was it last week or the week before, that we need to review the bylaw, because there is things in it that aren't very clear. So we are going to be reviewing that bylaw. If you would like to leave us a copy of your concerns, we can have that when we do it. Yeah, like I'm sure we'll look at the number of capping I need that because. We don't want something where we're gonna have 10,000 people. If that's what they're looking for, it's the wrong place. So we definitely. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry. Brian, here's the cheaper. You just leave it. Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks. Yeah. It's not that. So much. Yes. Yeah. So we have a resolution to adopt minutes that the council of the corporation township of Rudall and Raglan hereby adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of April 9th, 2025, and special meetings of April 15th, 2025 is presented. And again, we'll work with that, please. Moved by Councilor Collar, seconded by Councilor Floyd. Any comments, questions? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, the motion is carried. We have minutes from the VLR Recreation Committee and have a resolution that council for corporation, the township of Blue Valley, and Raglan, accept the March 18th, 2025 VLR Recreation Committee minutes as information. So again, move over for that, please. Moved by Councilor Hopper, seconded by Councilor Ward. Any comments, questions? Call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, the motion is carried. I guess they had around 100 people at the breakfast,
Totally.
so it was good. Yeah, you were,
I got all voted.
no, it was really good, and
Because I wanted to vote because I like my pancakes and sausage. Yeah, I just forgot all of it. Well, I see Nico. I thought to myself, where's Nico? Never thought anything of it, then I had to go to the bay at about 10:30, then I went by the sign there.
yeah, and Miriam was in her position, Boston did the same thing. Yes. We need all kinds of hands. Okay, we have a staff report with a resolution. That council for the corporation, the township of Brunel and Dalton Raglan directs the operations manager to sign an agreement with Jessup Property Care, provide weekly lawn care maintenance for municipal properties. Could I get a mover for that, please? Moved by Councilor Banks, seconded by Councilor Geller on our staff report.
Thank you. Here, so just to tie a couple of things together here, we did get some confirmation on our summer students. Grant that we applied for. Unfortunately, the three positions that were applied for, we only received funding for one. And that is allocated for an office assistant. So we don't have anything for recreation or public use this year.
Wow.
That being said, the grass is obviously starting to grow. We need to start thinking ahead for that. Last season we had Jessup's do our lawn care, and I think we did a pretty good job. And I've heard lots of good comments from the community, so things are looking good. So my proposal is to keep them on for the whole summer, since we don't have students, we don't have extra manpower to be cutting grass. For an extra $1,500 compared to last year. To get us through the summer, so. That's where we're going with that, there are these options down there. Contract services obviously 5,500 for the season. Or we could do spring and fall like we did last year for 4,000. And hire 2 summer students somewhere in the budget, almost $12,000. So you'll see money. Yes. Yes.
I know the graveyard up at Glendock never looked as good as it did last summer. Yeah, we did an exceptional job.
So. That's for us. Any other questions, concerns? No, just tell me keep up to the work. Serious.
So I'll call the vote.
Yeah.
It's all for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes,
Opposed, none, the motion is carried.
Thank you.
I think there was a real big cutback on summer students this year.
oh, is that right?
Yeah. When you go to correspondence, read a resolution of the council of the corporation of the township of Blue and Dalton Raglan hereby accepted correspondence as circulated. Could I get a motion for that? Or leader for that, please? Moved by Council Quad, seconded by Council Nates. Is there anything in here that you would like? No.
Well, it's still in their obviously.
Yeah, I was thinking of that one.
Yes, definitely the strong bears.
Yeah,
All of the municipalities and, well, I shouldn't say all of the municipalities. Don't know what Pembroke's doing, but I know Whitewater has a host of, I think all of the municipalities. In Renfrew County that were to get those powers as a host, which is a good thing. I would like to see support the Ontario Works Financial Assistance Grants. Need people with living on assistance isn't they getting enough money? So that, let alone pay rent. I don't know how the rest of council.
I'd be in support of that.
yeah. I found one for a while, so I read that one too, and I thought we should support something like that.
Yeah, because I think the basic rate for a single person is $731 a month.
Yeah.
Like, how could you possibly live?
Can't be around.
You can't, and how do you live here? You couldn't have a vehicle.
You with it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have to help them, really.
No, you
I
could be
know,
homeless.
I know what it's all about. If you don't help people that are in that position, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
If you like exactly, well, that's like.
Anything else? Okay.
This is anyone think about the diversity. I kind of like that intrusive research and. Yeah, it's 10.7. So it's looking to like, if you have a more diverse group of people, we help students come up with better solutions.
Yeah.
So you get a broader group of people thinking different. I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
Because we do have very diverse communities and it's becoming more diverse even in our areas.
Yeah.
You see a lot more diverse groups of people moving in and. We need to, that needs to be reflected in this.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have the three. I looked at the self-management one, but I don't know.
Yeah, I read that. Read through that too, but you know,
No.
it's tough and,
It's not new, this has been in the background there for a while.
I mean, I think everyone's trying to be environmentally responsible or as responsible as possible. I know over the years, I'm sure Jordan, you've cut back a lot. It's, yeah, it's all, well, we see it in the budget. We see it, so we're doing as much as we can and so do things as safe as possible for everybody.
And it's true, like a lot of places overkill it with salt and sand because of
I see it in the city,
liability issues,
Because
you
of
know,
the
like,
I see it in the city, I see it at my workplace.
well, it was on the news last, winter about in Ottawa,
We
like,
have to shovel the salt off the sidewalk to open the door,
yeah.
as an example. I could show you pictures.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
But it's back to the liability of it.
Yeah.
Worried about being sued.
And it's going to the groundwater and it's seeping into the water systems, I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Well, yeah, you go by some of the highways, you can see the dead trees
Yeah,
along the road, so.
yeah.
Especially on Highway 11 there.
Okay. Alright, so. So we were executor in favor of referring the amendment to the motion. The motion, yeah. So the money is there, there's an agreement to that friendly amendment? Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, none, motion is carried. Okay, we have new business, we have a shoreline road allowance. Closure, and I was looking at that. Reference plan. And there's a road allowance there leading to the water. Do we want to close the road allowance leading to the water? I know, I don't like it.
Then
Like, yeah.
takes you to access for other people.
In the future, yes. It's councils of that on my lake. Where,
Yeah,
one lake, and it's red.
right.
Yeah, it just says Raglan Lake, Jack Otterwood, White Lake, or what they call Raglan White Lake here.
So does the road end at this lot?
You know.
You ever hear this? We have a mover a second today. Oh, well, let's get a mover so you can discuss it. Move by, Councilor Keller, second by Councilor. Kwan. Okay, see, it says Davies Road. Or Dave's Road. Let me, so is that the main road that goes in?
Davies Road swings off left.
Yeah.
Right.
And where does it go?
It goes, it ends at Gary Grossman's cottage. At the very end.
So. It looks like that. No.
Does it show the whole bunch there? Oh, actually over here. Oh, more that way, yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah.
So that road allowance is, looks like it was surveyed out there. Hopefully it wasn't closed before, does anybody know?
Close by, so.
That's the shoreline.
Shoreline.
Yeah, but the road allowance up there, see the road allowance between
Yeah, between concession.
concessions,
But here we're out.
is it closed? That it appears. Really look trying to figure out since that appears before, but looks like it's closed. Oh,
A little bit by last time, it's still.
Is that a one, yeah?
Yes.
Close, yeah. 571, that would be a long time ago. Why, so then, yeah, then you would close the whole and then. Yeah. Well, there's really nothing we can do about it, it's already closed.
Yeah, so we're gonna go back and look at the mile and
Well, it's on there, obviously, it's been
it's been registered.
registered in the registry office, if it shows up on the survey.
Yeah.
It must still have been registered and closed. Okay. Any other comments or questions about it?
No, that was just my concern about the
Yeah,
road allowance.
mine too, but I didn't tell, I kind of forced me to see that. It was the
It is hard to,
no, I didn't try to merge it with everything. Okay, so, then it will do, the draft plan will be okay. So any other questions or comments? Mhm. Mhm. No.
No.
Okay, I'm talking about that, all in favor?
Yeah.
Opposed? None? The motion is carried.
Yeah.
It's amazing how many shorelines got closed in years past.
But it happened easily years ago.
Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea.
well, especially where there's a road.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, and we have an example of that on Lake Charlotte. Okay, a letter of support for the terrace, this was from the last meeting. Be it resolved that the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Docking Raglan support the county of Renfrew's resolution regarding terrace and supporting local businesses, industries and workforces. And further that this resolution be forwarded to the Eastern Ontario Women's Caucus, the county of Peterborough, and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, the Rural Ontario Municipal Association, and the local municipalities of Renfrew County and relevant federal and provincial representatives. So could I get a motion for that, please? Move any, moved by Council Banks. Seconded by Council Bravo. Any comments or questions? Call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, motion is carried. Yeah. So the next one is a special event paddler cooperative. Can we get a request from them? Okay. Would this not fall under a special event? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
but we don't have,
But they hold that every
The
year.
application on here, and typically in the past, the clerk treasurer approves this one, it's a small amount.
okay,
And by the sounds of it, they're downsizing even more.
Yeah, I wonder why. I don't know, it's worrisome, I hope they're not struggling to bring people in.
No, all the cars I see go by with kayaks and canoes on the top of it, you know?
So I know years past, it was busy, it was a busy little spot.
They got a $20,000 grant. Yeah, oh, no, what was that from? The 2025. I was just reading that and they give them a later too.
Let's see. Oh, Germans.
Yeah.
That the council of the corporation of the township of Brunel and Darwin Ragland accept the Padler Co-op special event application as information only. Moved by Council Keller, seconded by Council Ball. Any comments, questions? All those in favor? Opposed?
Sure. We'll slowly get my hand up.
That motion is carried. The, this is an official plan amendment to the county official plan for the pilot program. I'll read the motion that the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Dr. Ragland accept the notice of the official plan amendment as the information. To get it over for that, please. Moved by Councilor Claude, seconded by Councilor Banks. Any comments, questions? It won't affect us. You have to have. Is it a SIP plan, a community improvement plan? And the businesses apply through your plan and then through the county. And the county will match up to a certain.
Yeah, they break it all down.
Yeah, so, and we don't.
It's- shows up here.
Yes.
No, there you
It's for the 17th quarter, basically.
Yeah, so how is that, so then the cost of the county, how is that?
Where's the money?
Yeah, I was gonna write down, I know there was that conversation at town,
It's not, it's general taxation.
but is it like a population? Based model or it's simply given the budget?
It's just in.
For the people that wanna use it, I guess they submit and see what.
Yeah.
What the county will help with.
Yeah. Is it one of those that are given county council, but municipalities don't want to get you overnight, yeah, or thing with.
Yeah,
Sure, or
yeah. Yeah, it's hard to, like, the law of municipalities don't even bother to fight for that.
well, wow. Okay.
No, the only thing we had, the big, the buffalo over was the new radio system. When they divided it evenly,
Yeah.
large municipality and the smaller municipalities.
They just
So,
peanut butter across everybody,
and,
they just spread it across everyone.
yeah, equal.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And I mean, you think of the city of Pembroke,
Yeah.
remember, calls they together, the town of Petawawa compared to what we get, why should we be doing that?
Either is. How percentage of you share? Yeah. You know, I'm not some.
They made it through,
Pardon?
they made it through, any pencil with.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, we got it. Thank you to Mike Donahue for that one. So we have a resolution for the 2024 financial statements.
Call for the vote.
Pardon, you call for the vote of the official plan. Oh, okay, sorry. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed, that motion is carried. Okay, the financial statements, so. Is there an audit to signs? Yes. basically, you've seen these numbers before. Budget and. So we. So we have a resolution of meeting council for the corporation, the township of Blue Mountain, Dawson, rather than hereby accept the 2024 financial statements. And get a number we have. Again, moved by Council Caldwell, seconded by Mrs. Ruffalo. Any comments, questions, concerns?
What they seen during the budget, right? Alright, it's what we already seen during our budget.
Yeah, those figures. Okay. Anything else? I'll talk to the vote, all those in favor? Okay, let's see, then I took this one. And we have the 2025 PSAT budget. With a resolution of the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel and Dalton Raglan. Approve the 2025 PSAT budget as per the Ontario Regulation 28409. And this is something we do every year also. It's a requirement of the legislation. We will prepare this.
That could be the resolution level.
Okay, moved by Councilor Keller, seconded by Councilor Long. Was looking at the note.
We'll have to watch that going forward. And they're, but they mentioned about our surplus, right?
Uh, yeah, the conclusion is very important. And I think we've been not putting enough money into reserve, into the drawing. And we need to protect and keep that reserve up there.
Definitely something
Yeah,
that has to
definitely.
be considered.
Pardon?
It's definitely has to be considered next year to
Definitely,
get that contract, but
yeah, because if we get into a bind,
yeah.
it needs to be something to draw on. Okay.
It was a good song though.
Yeah, yeah, it is, like about the stunts and all that.
No, it was really good. Yeah. Things to consider, and we'll have to consider that stuff
Yeah,
next year.
yeah, maybe we should have that when you do the budget next year, you'll get to remind us.
Yeah, definitely go through or review that again, because there's
Yeah.
things in here that pointed out that, yeah, it makes perfectly good sense.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll call for the vote, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed, none, the motion is carried. Okay, so we have some shoreline no disclosures here. And these are her readings. All of them,
Yes, the 3 foot fuel.
Opry, and then the next one is,
First and second.
yeah. So we have a resolution of the council for the corporation of the township of Blue Mountain Raglan hereby adopt bylaw 2024-12, being a bylaw to provide for the closing and stopping of part of the original Alaska Road along the shoreline. Along the shore of Laurel Lake. Lying Chronic Park Lot 9, concession 9, Part 1. In the geographic township of Brunel, under the transfer thereof to the owner of the abutting land having been read a third and final time, and that's gonna get them over the happiness. Moved by Councilor Dennis, seconded by Councilor Caldwell. Any comments, questions? Let's all for the vote, all those in favor? Opposed, none, the motion is carried. We have another one, that the council for the corporation of the township of Blue Valley, Dr. Ragland, hereby adopt bylaw 2024-13, being a bylaw to provide for closing and stopping on the part of the original Oscar Road along the shore of Laurel Lake, lying in front of Park Lot 9, concession 9, Part 2, in the geographic township of Brunel, and for the transfer thereof to the owner of the abutting land, having been read a third time and finally passed. Is there a move for that, please? Moved by Councilor Paul, seconded by Councilor Keller. Any comments, questions? We'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Move another vote. That the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Ragland hereby adopt bylaw 2024-14, being a bylaw to provide for the closing and stopping up a part of the original Allister Road along the shore of Laurel Lake, lying in front of Part 9 concession line, Part 3, in the geographic township of Brunel, and for the transfer thereof to the owner of the abutting land, having been read a third time and finally passed. Could I get a word for that, please? Moved by Councilor Falco, seconded by Councilor Blood. Any comments, questions? Call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? None. The motion is carried. And another one, that the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Ragland hereby adopt bylaw 2025-23, being a bylaw to acquire and dedicate land as a public highway and to provide for the closing and stopping up of part of the original Allister Road along the shore of Laurel Lake, lying in front of Park Lot 9, concession 9, Part 4, in the geographic township of Brunel, and for the transfer thereof to the owner of the abutting land, having been introduced and read a first and second time. Can you get it over? Yes. Moved by Councilor Falco, seconded by Councilor Banks. Any comments, questions? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? None. The motion is carried. Okay. And the bylaw to enter into an encroachment agreement that the council, the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Ragland hereby adopt bylaw 2024-12, being a bylaw for.
It should be 2025-24.
That's something to see. Because I thought I just read bylaw in 25-12. Okay, so. Bylaw 2025-24, being a bylaw to authorize the entering into an encroachment agreement between the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Ragland and Merlin, Ernest City, having been read for second and third time and final. We get a mover for that, please. Moved by Councilor Quad, seconded by Councilor Gala. Okay, is this the same spot?
I can speak to this. Also, we are repealing bylaw 2024-32, which is the bylaw that was passed that was into this agreement last year. As the agreement went to them and their lawyer for signing, they wanted a few changes in regards to notification period, including the stuff removed off of our property. So the lawyers agreed on everything. Everything seems fine and kosher now. So I just thought we'd repeal that bylaw and enter into it. Yeah, to make sure it's sense.
That's clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so it still is allowing them to have the septic on the road grounds, but if it has to be replaced, it has to be.
Yeah, yeah, it's just a clear identification of timelines of the law.
Okay, sounds good to me. Any other comments or questions?
No.
Okay, call for the vote. All those in favor? Opposed? None. The motion is carried.
Yes.
And have a name.
Then,
And so we have a resolution of the council for the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Ragland, being closed session pursuant to the municipal act 2001, section 239, sub 2, for the purposes of 2 items under subsection B regarding personnel matters of an identifiable individual, including municipal employees. Subsection F advice that is subject to solicitor client privilege, including communications necessary for law purpose. The general work of that basis. Moved by Council Bang, second by Council Cole. Any comments or questions? Okay, on top of the vote, all those in favor, opposed, none, motion is carried. Okay, so we'll call. Give. Reverse, my total council conduct and close with each turn back. Who was. Council Claude and other councilor Banks. While we were in close, we discussed two items regarding identifiable individuals. And one item receiving legal advice. Mr. Baldwin. Okay, we have a resolution of the council of the corporation of the township of Blue Mountain, Malcolm Ragland, hereby direct staff to proceed with directions given in clause. Did you get a mover, please? Moved by Council Collins, second by Council Scott. Any comments or discussions? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Okay, we have a resolution to, for the confirmatory bylaw. The council of the corporation of the township of Blue Mountain and Malcolm Ragland hereby adopts bylaw 2025-25, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the May 7th, 2025 regular meeting of the council having been here at the first, second, and third time and final pass. If they have moved back, please. Second, Council Cochran, Council Stellar. Any comments, questions? Call the roll, all those in favor?
Yeah.
And we have a resolution that this meeting adjourns at 8:31 PM. With somebody move that. Council Banks.